Welcome, everyone. Verizon, the official wireless service provider of the NFL, takes you first on the field, Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, all set for the AFC title game. The Jets and the Steelers, the last piece of the puzzle, with the winner to take on Green Bay in Super Bowl 45.
It's been 10 years since this day, yet it feels like it just happened. These images are still burned in my brain. I've actually never seen a second of this game since the day I first watched it, that damn day. Those yellow and black jerseys, watching Rex run up and down the sideline. I don't remember how I felt, sitting on my couch, waiting for the game to start. I had that feeling in the pit of my stomach, that feeling that Jet fans get when things are going very well, and you know, deep down, that the bad part is about to start. But what am I doing? Before we can talk about this game, let's go back to where it all began. The summer of 2010. As the NFL began their preseason activities, the Jets found themselves in an unusual spot. The year before, the Jets were 2 quarters away from playing for the Super Bowl for the first time in over 40 years. They were carried to the AFC Championship game by their number 1 ranked rushing attack and number 1 ranked defense. The team was led by defensive guru Rex Ryan, who previously had coached with the Ravens for 9 years, including 1 Super Bowl run. There was also Mark Sanchez's rookie year, who was the 5th overall pick in the draft, and despite all the help, had a lackluster year in general. It was expected that with 1 year of experience under their belts, both coach and quarterback would continue to develop in year 2 and could make this Jets team even better. The preseason odds has the Jets' win total at 9.5 wins, with their odds of winning the Super Bowl at plus 1,200. To put that in perspective for the non-gamblers out there, that's the exact same win total and Super Bowl odd line that the AFC East foe New England Patriots had entering that year. Could David really knock off Goliath? Could the Jets climb out of that deep, dark shadow that Bill Belichick and Tom Brady was casting for almost a decade at this point? When Rex was hired, he made it very clear the Jets were not going to get pushed around by the Patriots. He said it himself, "I never came here to kiss Bill Belichick's rings, I came here to win." And it was time to do some winning. The excitement around the team was so palpable that HBO decided to feature the Jets on that year's episode of Hard Knocks. All of the country's eyeballs were now on the Jets and the brash coach Rex Ryan. One thing you could definitely say about Rex, he loved to talk. And before the year, he guaranteed the Jets would win the Super Bowl, really heightening that spotlight that was on them already. I don't think any statement he ever gave embodied his coaching style better than this speech he gave on Hard Knocks during the preseason, right before the season began.
You guys know me, that I'm about as positive a guy as there is. I believe our team's better than every team in the league. I believe our players are better than any players in the league, right? Those are true statements. That's how I believe. But the team's only going so far if I'm the only guy that leads. I'm not a great leader. I can't lead myself. What are we waiting on? Do you want it or not? Do you understand there's a price to pay? We won't win it. We'll sit back and say, why didn't we do it? We didn't do it because where were our priorities? Let's make sure we play like the New York Jets and not some slap team. That's what I want to see tomorrow. Do we understand what the I want to see tomorrow? Let's go to eat a damn snack.
As a Jet fan, you want to believe. You want to get lost in the hype. Even though Jet fans like myself are conditioned for nothing but disappointment, we expect a good product every single season. This is the NFL after all. A league where the worst teams get rewarded with high draft picks and the best teams are penalized with salary caps for trying to win. Eventually, our time is coming. That's the thinking, at least. Statistically speaking, our time must be coming soon. But for 42 straight years, this season ended with sadness and despair. Sooner or later, that's what will happen. And when the Jets lost their opener 9-10 to the Ravens, it looked like we were getting just that. But what came next shocked the entire football world. By early December, the Jets were 9-2 and atop of the AFC East. The Jets' defense was once again a top 3 unit, led by all-pro cornerback Darrelle Revis. Their offense was competent enough, ranking 13th best in the league. QB Mark Sanchez was now throwing to Super Bowl 43 MVP Santonio Holmes, as well as budding star and former Brown Braylon Edwards. Future Hall of Fame running back LaDainian Tomlinson was on pace for a 1,000-yard season that year, with power back Sean Green contributing with 4.1 yards per carry of his own. All this firepower would be put to the test when the Jets would travel up to Foxborough that week to play the 9-2 Patriots on a Monday night matchup that would determine the fate to the AFC East. Could the Jets sweep the season series against their dreaded rivals and show once and for all they were a true contender? Or would they prove all their haters right? Oh no, not again.
38-3 New England, and the onslaught is officially on. Sanchez picked off again, this time James Sanders. Sanchez's third interception of the night. And boy, they just added insult to injury. Ensuing New England possession, Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis up the gut for the touchdown, and it's 45-3. And boy, if you're not a Rex Ryan fan, you certainly enjoyed Monday night. 45-3 is the final score as the New England Patriots go to 10-2, now 6-0 at home, and the Jets' long road winning streak ends at 8.
The Patriots seem to love twisting the knife in the Jets' stomach too, as Tom Brady said in the whole game, even when they were up 42 points with 2 minutes left. I think defensive lineman Sonopua summarized it best when after the game he said, "This humble pie tastes like a car tire, and it goes down like peanut butter." After starting 9-2, the Jets would finish the season winning only 2 of their last 5 games. 11-5 was good enough for the 6th and final playoff berth in the AFC, distantly behind the 14-2 now Super Bowl favorite Pats. The Jets limped into the playoffs with seemingly no hype, a shell of their preseason selves. As a young fan, I didn't fully count the Jets out, but at the same time I was not optimistic. If the Jets wanted to play in the Super Bowl for the first time in 43 years, they would need to do it completely on the road. First stop, Indianapolis, where the Jets took on Peyton Manning in a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game. The Jets' defense grinded out a tough win against one of the NFL's premier teams in this game. A 32-yard field goal by Nick Folk as time expired was not only enough to send the Colts home packing, but end Peyton Manning's 12-year run as a Colt. It was the end of an era in the NFL. What was the reward for beating one of the best QBs of all time on the road? Play another all-time great on the road. And once again, it was the Patriots. After the result of their Week 12 matchup, very few people were giving the Jets even a puncher's chance. ESPN's Tom Jackson was expecting a 30-10 beatdown. Once again, the Jets were on the wrong side of the casual NFL fans' expectations. Animosity between these teams were high. There's probably no clearer or funnier example of the animosity than in a pre-game press conference with Wes Welker. Just a couple weeks before this game is played, videos emerged of Rex Ryan and his wife. Now, I don't really know how to describe these videos other than to say they were a strange series of videos centered around Rex's wife's, feet. Most NFL fans viewed Rex as a cocky, arrogant, and even annoying figure in the media. His fetishes were now out there for the world to laugh at, and many a fan relished the opportunity to laugh at him. One of the people laughing at him was Wes Welker, who did not hesitate to make light of the moment.
I mean, the guy is he is who he is, and he does a great job of making sure everybody's on the same page and everybody's putting their best foot forward. You can't just stick your toe in the water, especially, you got your foot up in the air. Want to go out there and just put your best foot forward. He's got great feet. He has good feet. He's another guy who's great feet. You want to make sure that, you're putting your best foot forward out there. So let's go out there and being good little foot soldiers. You definitely have to be on your toes and make sure that you're ready to go.
To this day, this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a pregame press conference. Bill Belichick, though, didn't think it was so funny. He was frustrated about the distraction, knowing it gave the Jets bulletin board material. He went so far as to bench West for the first series of the game. The stage was set, and the biggest game of the Jet-Patriot rivalry was underway. Jets fans sat on their couches and braced for cover. We were expecting the usual at this point. What we got instead was one of the most glorious moments of our lives.
Good afternoon, everyone, from Gillette Stadium, a place that is stoked up and ready for the AFC divisional round. The Patriots and the Jets meeting for the third time this season. Tonight, the rubber match. The winner goes to the AFC Championship game.
They say it can't be done. They say we have no chance. Hey, let me tell you something. Any man can be beat on any day. non-believers. How did that? To all the non-believers. Especially you, Tom Jackson. Way to have our back, Keyshawn. Anybody can be beat. Felt great. Poetic justice. We take a lot of slack. People gave us no chance, like we barely made it in playoffs. We're a good football team. Talk crap about the defense like we ain't the third best defense in the league. All we hear is about their defense. They can't stop a nosebleed. 25th in the league, and we the one to get disrespected.
Congratulations. See you in Pittsburgh.
Can't wait.
Back to you.
Very few moments in a man's life can they really honestly say are absolutely perfect. This was one of those moments for me. I can say without a doubt that when I saw Bart Scott yell at Tom Jackson of all people, while Tom Brady stood there in silence, it was never better. It was like something out of a movie, watching the good guys beat up on the bad guys, finally getting their revenge, the nerds over the jocks. I'll always have this moment, this perfect image, this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. No one could ever take that away. Going into Pittsburgh, I didn't just think the Jets were going to win. I knew they were going to win. They had already done it in the regular season. All they had to do was beat them one more time, and they'd be in the first Super Bowl since my dad was in diapers. But the painful truth about the Jets is, once you start believing in them, that's when things start to unravel. And unravel they did. By halftime, the Jets were down 21 points. All hope seemed to be lost. The Jets did, however, mount a comeback late in this game. And for a moment, we thought maybe this was it. This is how things were going to get turned around. This is the type of adversity where curses get broken. But a late third down conversion from Ben to Antonio Brown sealed this game once and for all. And once again, the Jets were the NFL's punchline. I still think back to this game often, how the Jets played so poorly in the first half, and maybe if they just hung in and didn't turn the ball over so often, they could have done enough to win this game. How would things be different if they just won? Could they have beaten Rodgers and the Packers in the Super Bowl that year? Would the organization have the monkey thrown off their shoulders, their culture finally taking a turn for the better, and become the counterweight to the Patriots for years to come? Well, we will never know what could have been. What we do know is that this version of the Jets was short-lived. We have yet to see this team return to the playoffs since that fateful January day over 11 years ago. This is the longest active playoff drought in football, and it's not even close. And what looked like the start of legitimacy was only the beginning of the end. Will we ever see the Jets become a consistent contender? Well, stranger things have happened. The Chiefs just broke their own 50-year Super Bowl drought. The Bills, whose history isn't that different than the Jets, also have a promising head coach and quarterback right now. Even the Bengals just broke their own 31-year-old drought without a playoff win. Teams rise and fall often in the NFL. I can only hope that one day, too, I get the privilege of sitting on the couch, beer in my hand, and a plate of chicken wings on my lap, as the Jets take the field and give their fans their long-awaited time in the sun.